Hello and welcome back. In this session, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Always Encrypted. So if you have been following along on the previous sessions, we talked about cell or column level encryption. We also talked about backup encryption. Now this is time to talk about Always Encrypted, which is new to SQL Server 2016, and it is an advanced version of cell or column level encryption. So by the end of this session, you should be able to configure Always Encrypted on your own and also know some of the components and techniques that are used in order to configure Always Encrypted. So the good thing about Always Encrypted is that it is easy to configure, as well as it is also easy on the application side to configure, because the application only need to do is to enable column encryption within their app.config file. So a couple of things in here before we jump into show a demo is to clear up some of the concept about CMK and CK. So these are the two keys that are being used for encryption and decryption of the data. So CMK stands for column master key, which is encrypting the CK, and it resides outside of SQL Server inside a Windows certificate store. So the CK, which is protected or encrypted by the CMK, this key stands for column encryption key, and it is being used to encrypt data. And this actually resides inside SQL Server. So if you're using a non-Windows, operating system and using always encrypted functionality, you must use Azure Key Vault in order to configure properly always encrypted. If you want to know more about this, so here are a couple of links you can actually explore within this website. Now, a couple of things in here about the permissions. Once you configure always encrypted, you must provide these 4 permissions for the client application account in order to properly use the always encrypted. And these permissions are nothing other than alter and view on column master key and column encryption key, as well as on column master key and column encryption key definitions. So you have to provide these in order to use the properly always encrypted. And if you want to know more in here, this is the Microsoft website that these informations are also driven from that. So you can explore here, click on this website, or just copy and type it in your browser. You should be fine to explore more within their Microsoft website. So benefits about Always Encrypted is that we using these Always Encrypted for the purpose of that the data is encrypted while the data is at rest, as well as when data is in flight. The other good thing about data encryption in here is that encryption and decryption happens inside the client application server using the .NET framework. So this means less stress on your database server. Now your higher privilege users such as DBAs, DBO, or anyone with a higher privilege, let's say if you provide someone with a SA privilege, so they may not be able to see data. What they would be able to see is kind of encrypted data such as this kind of card numbers in here. So the other thing in here that if while data is in transit or even the data is at rest and someone actually break through and access the data or the data being hacked, the hackers also may not be able to see the data because again, your data is encrypted. So for these purposes, we are going to go ahead and explore more on Always Encrypted and configure and show you a demo. So hopefully we will learn something new on this new feature of SQL Server 2016. So what I'm going to do in here is I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. I'll come back and using the DCM database and apply Always Encrypted on this database. So I hope I see you on the next video.